Two people. You.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And how are you this morning?
Beachy.
I should ask. Okay.
No, we're good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Unfortunately, Rosemary will not be with us today. She has a pinched nerve in her neck.
Oy.
Not a pleasant thing, I would think.
That sounds painful.
But she promises to catch up on the video.
Nice.
Yeah.
You may enter your own seat now. Go ahead.
Aha. We have a cat today.
We've always got a cutie.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one thing I'll say we're going to need today is a chair or a stool that will move on your floor. So if you need to get that, to have it when we need it.
It has a roll?
Or slide. You'll be happier if it slides.
Yes, it can slide. It's gonna have to slide.
Okay. Well, actually, when we get there, the point will be that we don't want it to, but if it does, it'll be telling you something.
Uh-huh.
Just have to make do with what I got.
I'm sorry?
I said I'll have to make do with what I got. I don't.
Yeah, me too, Andrew.
Okay. You mean you don't have a lot of things just sitting around?
Not ones that will slide.
Aha, okay. Questions? Concerns, reports? How's your practice?
Not so good.
What?
I say not so good.
Not so good.
Not so good. I got so much going on here. I'm not sure I can continue.
Oh,
Yeah, we got Parkinson's and Lewy body disease and endless doctors. Saturday, yeah. Anyway, I'm here today,
okay.
but I have not practiced. Confession.
Well, life gets in the way now and then. Andrew?
Yeah, I guess I never have questions, just observation. Yeah, I guess I just, I do find it hard to, kind of, the idea of like syncing the chi and everything. I don't know. It's one of the, it's like the less I think about it, the easier it is. And the moment I try to try to notice that it also is rising as it sinks, like it all just falls apart, you know what I mean? And like I start trying to conceptualize everything. Um, so I don't, but like for whatever reason, I find it very tantalizing to grapple with this idea of like, okay, like it can't all be going down. But like I don't really notice it doing both. And then I go off on a far from where I should be going, right?
Yeah, so you're thinking too much about it, yes.
Right,
Um,
right.
And so one of the things I would say is that clearly when you want to sync your chi, you're focusing your intent on one flow.
Right.
I only mentioned that it also will simultaneously be rising so that you have that awareness, but it's not anything that you need to be consciously aware of at the time when you are syncing your chi. All you're,
Oh, what a relief.
all you're trying to feel when you're syncing your chi is that it's going down.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe I gave you too much
Yeah.
information.
I guess I wouldn't say, no, because like I like to have more, obviously. But it's just, yeah. It like if I'm trying to be like, okay, like can I find that awareness to like notice both? It's very quickly the answer is no. But
Well, that probably is true at this point, but if you it's like everything else. You remember our principle of learning one thing and then learning a second and putting them together. That's exactly what's happening.
Right.
You're learning ideally to feel the sinking of your chi. There are other places in this practice which we haven't arrived at yet, where it will clearly be rising.
Okay.
And you can begin to feel that, and then you will find that you can learn to feel both of those when they happen.
Okay. Yeah. The other thing is, when I'm, I guess I'm sitting right now, so it's a little bit. It happens more when I'm sitting, but when I'm sinking, I'm always worried that I'm actually just like compressing my spine, and like because I can have a sense of like a lift of the neck while I'm doing it, but is there anything besides like maybe don't do it sitting around, because I'm always like, oh, it's sinking, and like I have a downward sense of just down, but then I kind of like if I let it go too much, I go like this. Like obviously I'm exaggerating, but
Yeah. So I'm not sure we've really talked about all of these things that we will eventually, but you feel the sinking of the chi really through the chest and the center of the body. It's where you'll feel it most. The midriff, that soft area below your ribs, needs to be actually rising at the same time. So talk about things happening in two directions. The chi is sinking, but you have to keep opening the midriff, because if you allow the midriff to close, then you begin to block the flow of the chi either down or up.
Okay. Yeah.
So keeping that structural alignment of opening the midriff will help the spine to stay open. And on down the road in this practice, when we get to the spine stretch, we will work very specifically on keeping the spine open and opening it further.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's helpful to, that's a good reminder about not letting this fall
Yep,
apart. Okay.
it's very easy. You're,
Right.
when you're really focusing on that dropping of the energy, which is cleansing your body, it's very easy to let yourself have a feeling of everything going downward, but you're keeping your structure open. This,
Right.
the body is not collapsing, it's relaxing open so that the energy can sink through it.
Hmm. Yeah, that's yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
It all makes sense, but it is not, as I have said in the past, easy.
Yeah.
Good. So today we're going to keep working on all of this stuff, but we're going to focus mostly on the knees, because if you're going to have your chi moving downward, which is what we've been talking about, you don't want your legs to block it. And as an example, you don't want to allow your knees to collapse in, because that blocks your chi at the perineum. And I know that's something I've probably said to Andrew. I don't know that I've said that to Susan or Rosemary, but that is an important element in your alignments. If you take this from another position, if you go from having a knee, hip, or ankle problem, which is why many people start Qigong, they either have some problem or they don't want one to arrive, then you need to understand a little bit about what will destroy your knee on a regular basis. As I have said at some points in the past, 30 pounds of pressure will break a knee. If a person allows their knee to bend in and it gets hit with 30 pounds, bam, it's broken. But it can be a lot less than that even. So how much do you weigh from your knee to the top of your head? That weight is is causing a vector down your body. And if it hits a place that is not structurally positioned to have the weight pass through it, there's only one thing your body can do. That part of your body has to take the weight. And if you have a bad knee, that means that effectively you have just hit yourself in the knee. This now becomes a question of how many millions of times will you do that over the course of a couple of weeks, a year, a month, whatever. It's where a lot of body problems cause cumulative damage. And some of it is just as simple as if the pressure moves smoothly through your body, your joints don't take the pressure. The thing about the knee is that it is not designed to take weight. It really doesn't. For its size, it is the weakest joint in your body, and it has to bear all this weight. However, your knee is designed to transfer your weight through a series of ligaments down to your feet. It is your feet that actually take the weight. The example Bruce uses is that the smallest woman can take 700 pounds of pressure on her pelvis and it won't break. And it will not be damaged. But there is no knee that can take a lot of weight on it. If you actually see a knee, the bones, the cartilage, it's really paper thin. And it's not like your other joints, which are rather large. It is, relatively speaking, a very, very flimsy joint. It's held together by ligaments, not bone strings. The ligaments bounce. Ligaments have no problem bouncing from morning until night, presuming that they are not damaged in some way. So the trick is to use the spring in the ligaments in your knee to avoid knee problems or heal any problems you have in your knees. This is very basic to everything in Tai Chi. And Tai Chi heals knees wonderfully. But more than that, the way in which you know if your knee position is correct is that as you begin to sink your chi, if all of a sudden you're feeling something really jamming up in your knees, well, now there's two questions you need to ask yourself. The first one is my chi not moving through my knees when I'm trying to sink it? And is my alignment off? And then you do all the various things you do, knowing that if you get that alignment right, all of a sudden, you're not going to feel the pressure going into your knee. And more than important than that, from the point of view of sinking your chi, it is now going to start moving down towards your calf. It's going to go through the blockage point. So you have the same issues in your hips, and you have them in other places as well in your body. So before we actually go to having your chi sink, I think it's really useful if we just go into the first level of alignments of the knees and learning how that works, so that when you start, you don't spend a long time getting a lot of pain because you don't know the reason. The second reason things will block in your knee is simply because some of the energetic acupuncture points around your knee are jammed up. But the whole thing about that is, if you keep on sinking chi through your legs, it clears these acupuncture points. So the first thing is about how do you stand and what you do. So we're going to start with that. Now the signals that come from our brain are ultimately going through your spine, and they're telling your legs what to do. If you shut a person's brain off, they can't stand up. So somehow we need to measure when you're doing standing or Qigong or Tai Chi, that the spine does have that sense of being straight down and trying to move through your legs. But now there's another issue. You actually don't want to use your knees to go up and down. You want your knees to be moved by your psoas muscle, which is, of course, running right through your quad. And in the notes today, I will send you a picture of the psoas muscle so you really know where that is. As opposed to the opposite. So this is similar to pool. You have a pool stick and a ball. The ball doesn't come back and move the cue stick. The cue stick hits the ball. So the psoas should be the center that originates the action. And the next question is, by moving the psoas, letting it bend a little bit, how do you get the position so that any motion going up and down will cause a direct pressure to go to your feet? We want to get the pressure of the movement that you're doing to go through the knee, to pass through it without causing any discomfort or any sense of pressure, and go straight to the feet. So you don't actually have any feeling of bending from your knees. What you have is a feeling of going down from the quad and pressure increasing in the soles of your feet. Eventually, this is going to enable you to use that pressure you're feeling in the bottom of your feet to get your chi to actually go down to your feet and into the ground. Now, another thing, the knee is never supposed to bear weight, as we've said. So as soon as you make your knee go too far forward, you now have the entire weight of your body on your knees. And this is a big reason why people who sometimes ski sometimes develop bad knees. So stand up. And just find your basic standing position that we've talked about. Feet parallel as they can comfortably be. Relaxing throughout the body. Remember to keep the armpits open so the arms are slightly rotated with the elbows slightly lifted. The head lifting off the top of the spine. Indeed, that sense of the spine extending a bit. And so the first thing is that as you're standing, you want to get the sense of the back of your knee pressing right into the center of your foot. So this is going to mean that if you're a little bit forward, your weight is on the ball of your foot. And if you're too far back, it's going to be on the heel. And what you're trying to do is get to where all of a sudden you're in the middle of your feet. And you have, when you find that, a really nice 3-year-old bounce. So just playing a little bit with your standing position and trying to find that sense that as you're standing, that your weight is dropping right through the knee. There should be no pressure in the knee at all, none. Unless some of those points are blocked around there. And then as you feel that you found that position, one of the things is that you let yourself just begin to bounce a little, moving from your quad. You're not moving from your knee, you're moving from your quad. So you just let yourself relax into this. I like that Bruce calls it a 3-year-old bounce. Children can do this without any problem at all. We make it hard. So you really want to just find that comfortable position where you're not in any way impacting your knee. Everything is lined up. So the pressure has to move through. And the purpose of that is that you should feel the pressure in your feet. You should feel something, feel something in your quad, but not in your knee. So any questions about that? You have some sense of that? Yes,
I feel
Andrew.
like I have a question, but I don't know what it is. So
So what are you feeling that's causing you to question about this?
what am I feeling that's causing me to question about it? That's a great question. I guess I'm not, like, there are some things like when we lift the back of the neck or you know, when things of that nature, right? When you get it, it's very clear.
Yes.
And there's no like, oh, like, aha, I've found the middle of my foot. I'm like, well, I'm not back and I'm not too forward. So I guess that must be the middle, but there's no like zing, there's no
No, you're
I-
not going.
You know?
You're not going to have a zing, but you won't. You're absolutely right. You will know if you're in the middle of your foot, and what you're also trying to feel at the same time is that there is no pressure in your knee. That what you're feeling is pressure in the soles of your feet.
Yeah. I guess that one, that's like the hang up, I guess, is that I'm gonna feel should my knee almost feel like it's not there?
Well, no, I'd like your knee to be there.
Yeah.
It's a very useful joint. It's a great hinge. So you're not trying to get rid of the awareness of your knee being there. What you're trying to make sure is that you're not getting unnecessary pressure in the knee or jamming up the energy and blocking it from sinking on down to your feet.
Yeah. Okay.
Does it-
Okay, just play with it more, you know.
Susan?
What I'm feeling is just my feet
Good,
and the heaviness
good.
in my feet. Is that how it's meant to be?
Yes, you want to continue to be aware of your knees because
Yeah.
the position of your knees is really important in all of this. So it's not that you give up being aware of your knees, but you are feeling exactly what you should feel, I think. Yes. This is the drawback of not having you here where I can see you and touch you.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next step is once you have found that area in the back of the knee, your knee will basically be over the center of your foot. You now have nothing that intrinsically will cause the weight to jam up into whatever weak spot you might have in your knee. Which is not to say your knees are going to feel absolutely perfect right away, because those points in your knee, should they be blocked at all, until they clear, there might be some discomfort, but at least you'll not be causing more structural damage. So the next I'll let you read all of that at home. So the next thing that we want to do is make sure that if you have the back of the knee together, that when you fold the quad, when you go up and down, that you're not moving the knee into a position where you cause a blockage or cause injury to your knee. And so this is where we go into using that chair that I mentioned before. So what you're going to do is step up close to the chair, but not right against it right away, because you remember that one of the first things we do is allow the quad to relax. So we sink a little and the knees go a little bit forward. And you're just placing, it'll probably be actually, depending on the length of your legs, if not your knee, it will be the front of your shin against the chair. And what we're really trying to do is be aware of being able to fold the quad, sink down, and not move the knees forward or back. So in other words, neither push the chair away, which since I'm on a rug this morning, it doesn't want to move, nor are you straightening up to where the knees leave the chair, because straightening the knees will block the chi just as much or more sometimes than pushing them too far forward. So you're finding that middle place and simply sinking and rising slightly. You're keeping the back straight. So we're not bending the back, we're not collapsing in the middle. You can also do this doing a squat in which you're perhaps able to sink a little bit further, but it's not how much you're sinking, it's learning that you can keep the weight in the middle of your foot and simply go up and down slightly, not allowing the knee to go too far forward, to move at all.
I'm feeling as though I'm arching my back a little bit.
So don't. So what that says to me is that you're trying to go down further than is comfortable for you. So don't worry if you're just going down a little bit, that's fine, because you're simply discovering this relationship of not moving the knee forward or back, but finding its position and then moving from the qua, which means that you may bend forward a little as you're sinking, but we're basically just trying to find that little bit of movement where we can maintain the position of the knee. And once you have a little bit of a sense of this, you can step away from the chair and try it without the chair, but really being aware of not allowing the knees to move forward or to fully straighten the leg. You're letting your tailbone drop slightly and your chi trying to go through your qua towards your legs and keeping your back straight. That doesn't necessarily mean vertical, just straight. You want to keep your tailbone as perpendicular to the floor as you can. And this actually affects the mind and not just the physical tissues of the body. So thinking about the qua point, which is right in the middle of the inguinal crease, right behind it is your psoas muscle. And the psoas muscle actually wraps your spine a bit. like twine that would wrap a spear head onto a stick. And then you sink down and you let the claw fold, keeping your tailbone down. Really trying to keep your knees from moving. When you do this, when you're standing, or if you're doing a Qigong movement, or you're doing a Tai Chi movement, you're going to use that sinking of Qi to get your Qi to go from your body through your knees down to the earth. It's the sinking of the Qi that's going to open up those acupuncture points around your body. And then also, as you rise, you want to have a sense of opening your feet, and you want the Qi to start rising up through your knees, up to your pelvis. And if you are feeling the Qi rising up your body, it's going up from the perineum, not from the shoulders or your chest. It's the perineum that's actually doing it.
Hey, David, I have a question.
Sure.
Should the should the sinking of the Qi like it's be moving my whole, should that be what's driving my body moving? Or is it my body that's moving, which makes the Qi sink? or is it kind of just both happening?
So the Qi is making your body sink, yes.
And I'm making but I'm making the Qi sink.
Yes.
That seems like such an obvious thing that, like we've talked about, but I feel like I just was like, oh, hey, look at that. That's like
well, that's a good thing.
Yeah. Huh. Go figure.
So energetically, your energy wants to go down to your feet as you're going down, and then wants to go up from your feet, up your legs to your pelvis, and all the way up your spine, ideally to the top of your head as you rise. And you're trying to make sure that you're not moving your knees forward or back.
Is the perineum open?
Always. You never close the perineum. That's the purpose when I talked in the very beginning about not allowing the knees to collapse in. I just closed off my perineum. So keeping that alignment of the claw point and the knee and the center of your foot keeps that alignment of the legs so that you keep the perineum open. As soon as the perineum closes, you shut down the flow of the energy between the legs and the torso. So it's rather important that you have two things going on at once. And there is what you're doing with your knee and your psoas in the front of your body, and keeping your back straight, which is in the back of your body. If you're going to get your chi to sink, it starts from the top of your head, more accurately, actually from above your head, and goes all the way down to your feet. And of course, more accurately, eventually below your feet. This is not going to happen if when you go down from the shoulder, or you lift from your shoulder, or if you start allowing your back to go all over the place, because you won't have a clear circuit for the chi.
Amazing. Yeah, I can't feel, I mean, I don't feel any pressure on my knees. It's
Good.
amazing.
Good. So the next thing I'd like you to do, let me see. Is maintaining that position. First, stepping out wider and simply going into the shifting of your weight from one leg to the other, as we have worked earlier. But now being aware of keeping the knee in that same relationship, but now it's going to be all the weight on one foot, or most of the weight, whatever portion you have worked to. Ideally, eventually we want to go to 100%, but you may not be there yet, and that's okay. But you're simply shifting back and forth and trying to still maintain that sense of no pressure in the knee. And this is really important for the knee. 4 of the movements in this particular Qigong are going to involve the weight moving from one side to the other in different ways, but in every way that we do it, we want the knee to feel comfortable, open, and the sense of the energy going down into the foot. Make sure you're not rising in the center of your movement, that it's absolutely level, going from side to side. Okay, take a little rest.
Hey, David. When I'm moving off of, and I've noticed more on my left knee, it feels like if I'm not really super careful, that there's a moment of my knee flexing out, or I guess I don't know, like there's pressure on the inside edge of that knee.
Mm.
I don't know if it's like a rotation or like a, so instead of feeling like it's all going down, or if I'm not really careful, it feels like my leg's going like this, but like towards the end, this is my other leg here.
Yeah. It didn't look to me like you were rotating. I was really looking for that. What that may be is that your hip is moving too far out. So part of the structure when you're doing this is that when you move to the other side, you have to keep the straightness of your structure, because if you tilt, if I tilt my hip out a little bit, I can feel pressure come right into my knee.
Right.
Or if I tilt out at the top. So
Right.
Keeping your awareness at the level of the dantian and keeping that plane of movement and the upper body correctly aligned above it, so that you can go to 100%, you can sit on that foot, but there's no pressure in the knee.
Right.
So I think you can play with the positioning of your pelvis and your upper body and find you can get rid of that.
Okay.
Anything for you in there, Susan?
I know you can't see my legs, but it feels pretty good.
Good.
I'm trying to figure out whether I'm thinking about sinking or just doing the movement and letting the movement.
Well, you seem pretty relaxed with the movement.
My knees feel fine. My
Good.
feet are getting tired.
Okay, that's fine.
So they're doing their work.
Good. So what I would like you to do is for a few days, only practice this weight shifting from side to side after you do your standing and sinking your chi. But then I want you to very carefully begin to add rotation to that movement. So what you're going to try to do is start with just shifting the weight, and you find that movement where you're not having any pressure in the knee, and that feels comfortable. The pressure is going into the bottom of your feet. And then as you come to center, as you begin to relax and close the qua, allow your body just to rotate very carefully, but still keeping the position of the knee. Nothing changes with the knee or the foot. It's still the same. You are rotating at the qua. And then that qua opens, moves you to straight in the middle. And then you close that other qua. And the amount of movement as you rotate to the side is a relaxation, because closing the qua in terms of its physical movement is just a release. It's a letting go, but maintaining the structure of your legs so that the energy passes through the knee, goes down to the bottom of your feet. And while now you will be turned slightly at the side, you have the same structure that you had when you were facing straight ahead and just shifting from side to side. All that's happening now is that you are allowing the body to rotate slightly, whatever it wants to rotate. And remember that one of the important things about that is maintaining the rectangle of your shoulders nest and the qua points. This box does not twist. There is no shoulders going further than the hips or the qua. So this is all moving together, and the pivot is at the qua point. So it's a release, and then opening, closing. What, Andrew?
One, because like I want to like just do it and then do the close. But I know it's supposed to be like all one thing, I imagine. Or
Yep.
I imagine it. Yeah.
At
The other
least
thing-
eventually.
Yeah, right. I'm trying to tell that if everything's releasing all the time, you can still do stuff.
Oh, that's an interesting comment. What does that mean? Would you like to translate that a little?
Yeah. So, because like the close is a relaxation,
Yes.
but the opening is a relaxation. But like a spring, right? Like if I pull a spring, pulling the spring open, to make it longer, that's not relaxing, right? That you have to put energy into it.
Right. So you're going to put energy into the opening from the bottom of your foot.
I guess, but like to have that happen, like my foot needs to be relaxed and open. So like everything is just supposed to get more relaxed and more open. And so you know what I mean? Like, where's the tension of like,
you're thinking too much, Andrew.
Oh yeah,
It's up
definitely.
here.
I like it. So it's much simpler than you're making it, Andrew. So you're right. This movement is just a relaxation. But there has to be an energetic impulse to start you back. And you're right. It is very much like a spring winding up and then coming back. And so there is a pressure. So opening is a pressure coming up from the bottom of the foot through your leg that moves you towards the other side where you can release into the close. And now you have, this has wound up this spring and it can send you back in the other direction.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, like, yeah, definitely. Because if I think about opening, if I let my, and I think about it as like, if I get my own way and I'm like, I'm opening it, like, I'm doing it. One, I'm like, then I definitely want to think about like, I'm pushing down, not like something's coming up. So that's right. And then, so like, I really need to think about it as like, I'm going to relax here so that it can come up. And then I'm going to relax here so that it can close. But then everything's relaxing all the time. And, you know what I mean? Versus like,
good.
if I'm gonna,
I'd love it if you could do that, Andrew.
Yeah, but like, it just like, it's too good to be true. What's the catch? Like, what's the catch?
There isn't a catch. That's the point. There isn't a catch.
But it's so yeah, that's clearly not.
Because if you tense up anywhere, that interferes with the energy.
Yeah, which is like just completely a foreign concept of like, stop trying so hard.
Ah,
you know what I mean? like how, like,
yep. Let go of your Western mind.
it's I'm trying, and it is like, of course it is trying very hard to it's like, no, that can't be right, like, oh,
no,
yeah.
Andrew, you are not strange or unusual. This is a very typical thing that we go through in trying to understand this. One of the things, remember, you were talking about feeling the energy of sinking and rising.
Mm-hmm.
When you close, the energy sinks. When you open, the energy rises on that side. And when you close, the energy sinks. When it sinks, it automatically comes right back. Okay? So there is,
It's not
there
fair. Like,
is there is a bounce. There is a bounce of the energy there. I mean, it's already moving in both directions. We talked about this earlier, but there is a natural bounce of the energy there.
yeah. And like I can I can imagine like a thing that's like I'm putting into it, so like it's gonna have too much, it wants to be out of so it's gonna push it back. I guess I'm just like it feels like cheating. It feels like you know what I mean? But it feels like energy is just showing up in the system as sort of like, oh, it's like a free energy sort of thing. Like, look, I put magnets on a wheel and like it goes forever, and like that same sort of, it has that my Western mind is like, no, like there's a something's happening somewhere, right?
Yes.
So like it can't always
It
be
gets
relaxing.
clearer and clearer.
Yeah. Like
the feeling of it gets clearer and clearer through practice. Yes.
Hmm. So.
And I want to say, let go, Andrew.
Yeah, right. Like I guess it's okay if everything's just relaxed all the time, and like that's how things happen, by being more relaxed.
Well, try it. Try it. See what happens. What?
I said I'm trying. There's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff telling me not to do that.
Yeah. So you have to, if you can, quiet that stuff that's saying you can't do it, and say to it, let's experiment and see.
Right.
You don't have to say that's wrong and what David's saying is right.
Right.
You don't have to do that. You don't have to believe it. But you can say, well, let's give it a try. Let's experiment with this. Let's see what happens. Because if it doesn't work, then it ain't real.
Right. Yeah.
But it will work.
Yeah.
You can let go and let it flow.
Right.
Easy for me to say, not so easy to do.
Yeah. I have those little moments of like, look at that. So they're slightly more frequent than they were. So, but,
Well, that's
yeah.
progress.
Yeah.
Susan, anything for you?
It's trying not to think too much.
Yeah.
And trying not to think about what I'm feeling. To just do it.
Yep. Just feel it. Don't evaluate it.
Yeah, that's the sticking point, the evaluating.
Yep. Absolutely. And it it just is. It's just one of those things we have to work through. Our mind wants to know why.
Yeah.
And
but does our body just do its thing anyway if we give it a chance? I mean,
if you get everything in the right alignment
right
of the right
place.
movement, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So there's no need to think about it. In a
No,
sense.
there's no need, yeah, there is necessity to have intent on what you want to happen,
Yeah,
because this is not a mindless exercise. If it's a mindless exercise, you're not going to increase the movement of the chi very much, if at all.
well, I'm wondering whether the main focus is on your feet, or to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. I mean, that they're pushing off and shifting, letting the energy shift onto the other side after it's pushed off. I don't, where am I feeling it? Yeah.
So
Where am I?
so it
I back myself into a corner.
so what I've done is push you to a little more complicated level of exactly what we were doing a little bit ago when you were going up and down in a standing position. Except that when you
I see. Yeah.
when you begin to go from side to side, what happens is that one side is going down and one side is going up, instead of both sides doing the same thing. So when you first are doing this and you're trying to feel the energy movement, whether you're just shifting or whether you're shifting and rotating, the energy movement is basically the same. So one energy is going down, one energy is going up, and then they come back through center and reverse. And whether you're going just shifting from side to side or whether you're rotating from side to side, that flow of the energy is still the same. It's more complex at this point because each side is doing something opposite. And so you're not, Andrew, trying to feel both sides at once at this point, because that's very difficult. So you simply select one side to focus on if you're trying to feel the flow of the energy, and feel that side going up and down.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Did that help, Susan?
I don't know. We'll see. Just keep doing it, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and so, gradually we keep going here. All of this really up to this point is all, introductory things, getting alignments right and beginning to be aware of the basic movement of the energy. We're going to, there are arm movements. You may remember when I demonstrated what we do in this. There's a lot more to come, and these other parts help and add to what you're doing. This is just the basic core movement we're trying to get a grip on here.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Good.
Thank
Well,
you.
we're going to meet, if we are going to meet, next week.
What happened last week? Did we, what?
That was my fault. The the invitation had today's date, and I realized
Yeah.
it, and then I sent a correction, but apparently the correction never got to you. I'm
Yeah,
not sure
didn't-
what I did. I must have made an error.
Well, anyway, here we are.
Here we are. So this is last week's class, which means that we'll have a class next week.
Okay,
Okay. Good.
thank you.
Good work. Thank you. Have a good week, and I'll see you in a week.
Very good.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
I.
Hard week, Andrew.
Um. Rowan just had trouble last night.
Oh,
You know, he woke up and he was crying, and you know, it got to the point where I just went downstairs and let him run around, and he ate like a whole bag of goldfish. I was just to the point where I was like, I go for it, bud. Have fun. He like ate a whole bag of goldfish and like chugged a bunch of water and like passed out. It's like, okay, sure. So,
how is he this morning?
fine, great,
How
hungry. He
could he
eats.
be hungry?
You know, I guess it wasn't like a whole bag, but yeah, no, he eats like more than I do.
Well, he needs to. He's growing.
he just, yeah, but like he like literally will not stop. Like there pesto pasta. He will just bowls of it, like full bowls for an adult human, and he will just eat it and be like, "What? That's it?"
Good for him.
Yeah. So, no, he's good.
I don't blame him. That's good stuff.
Yeah, right. I was like, Mason, I'm like, oh, I'll make a little bowl for him. Nah, I should make like 4 times as much as that.
Oh, I love it. Well, I had one of my favorite pastas last night, carbonara.
Carbonara. I don't know what that is.
Oh, I ate way too much. Probably put on an extra pound of weight overnight. It's like mac and cheese for adults.
Yeah. Oh, that looks really good.
It is.
Is it with bacon there?
Yeah, little bits of bacon.
Oh, I've had that from, my mouth is watering.
Yeah.
I was like drooled all over the place. Yeah, I have had that, and it's insanely good.
Pasta Vita makes it very well.
There we go.
And then you don't have any work.
Yeah.
Anyway, so do you have other questions at this point?
I could spend the next hour talking probably.
Well,
You know.
if that's what you want to do, that's fine.
Do I have other questions? I guess I really do like when you're pushing with your weighted foot,
Yeah.
that's like a rising moment. It's helpful that you reminded me that that if you put, you know, if things go down, they're gonna want to come back up. It's kind of like it's a bounce. It's a send and a receive. So that's helpful. Because I'm pushing with that, and to push something, I need it to go away. So I need to put something towards that. So I really I want to feel it as that's going down, and like the other leg is like filling up and up, right? if I remember to try to incorporate a little like spiral into it, it helps a little bit. To remind me like, hey, yeah, that's that's coming up. And if I do that, then it's a little easier to be like, and to do that, you need to relax and like release and open on the thing that you're pushing with. But yeah, that's not really a question. But
No, but you're right. Your thinking is right.
Is there for the top of the head, I've forgotten all the words right now. That's okay. The top of the head, you said that when you feel going down, it should be like down your chest. I feel it like more, I guess I just think about my spine a lot. Maybe.
So you can feel it just up and down your spine because that is happening. But there's also a circuit coming up, not in the spine, but between the spine and the skin in back.
Okay.
So that's when we're talking about the macrocosmic circuit. You remember that?
Vaguely. I remember I really like the word. Sounds cool.
So when we talk about the macrocosmic circuit, this is a circuit that is moving certainly through Wei Qi, and it will be moving through some layers below that also. But it's coming up the inside of the leg, and it comes up to the qua, goes through to the back, comes up the back, over the top of the head, down the front to the qua again, and goes around the hip and down the outside of the leg.
Gotcha.
So that's what's called the macrocosmic circuit. Now, there are multiple circuits in the body, but that's one of the basic ones that we feel when we're moving the energy all the way from one end to the other. And it's what we work with basically, for instance, in Dragon and Tiger.
Yeah, right.
If you think about how we move the arms and hands in those movements, we were tracing up the inside of the leg and then up the body. And even though, for instance, a hand comes up the front of the body, the energy is going up the back, coming over the top and going down the front.
Oh, that like makes this like because that's supposed to be, you know, like a round, like sometimes I can tend to do that to going over.
It's a rounded movement.
Yeah, because it's got to go over your head. Look at that. Yeah, I guess I always just thought about that. I was like, oh well, there's just side channels here, and they're on the side, and you know, like I could like, you know, it's not like I didn't feel anything. But yeah, that I definitely have had not remembered that it goes like through you to the back and around and down.
Well, you can't hold on to everything the first time.
Yeah, that's like, you know, obviously has no application to me at the moment, but like, you know, when someone like Bruce or you know, even you, like when you do something like that and you have like all these circuits, do they just feel all of those things at once? Because that's like a lot of stuff to feel.
You can't be aware of, it can't be, well, you can, but at our level, we can't be aware of all of them at once, no.
Yeah, right. You know.
That is a possibility, but that's like the definition of the Buddha's awareness when he became enlightened, was that he was aware of, I can't remember, he's aware of all the grains of sand in the universe simultaneously.
Right.
You know, it is possible to arrive at that point, but it's I think it's unlikely that I'm going to make it. And you've got more time. Maybe you will.
I guess I better I better just do that nonstop all day. And
Well, maybe you could be a teacher.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
what becomes important is that you're clear about where you are intending the energy to move in the particular stage of practice that you're doing with that Qigong at the moment.
Right. Yeah. I do very much get hung up on like, oh, I should be able to do this while doing all the other, instead of just like, how about we could do this one thing really well?
Yeah, exactly. And it's very hard for us to do that. We feel like we ought to be able to do it all right away.
Right.
And you can't.
Yeah.
Sorry to tell you that, but you can't.
Yeah. Or if the more I try to do that, the more tensed up I get, right? Like,
Yeah.
Like maybe that's how you do it.
Nope, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
And that's, and that's exactly the thing that is really hard for us, is that we're taught from the time we're little children and throughout all our schooling and everything we're taught by parents and adults, that if you try hard enough, you can do anything.
Right.
Well, this is one place where that is bullshit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you got to do the practice in order to get there, but you don't get there by doing the practice and trying harder.
Yeah. It's I think that's part. Part of like what I was talking about of like, well, like why?
Yeah.
Is I'm like, oh no, like I've done. I've tried to put this, square peg in the round hole so much, and like it's worked sometimes that I've like just broken the thing, the thing and got it in there. Well, that has to be right because you've been doing it for so long.
Well, it's probably better.
But yeah.
I'll send you an article. I just ran into, trying to think who now I can't remember who. Oh, I think it's from Paul Cavell. I can't remember. Anyway, it's on feeling your chi. It's a good article. It's just, if we can get ourselves to just focus on doing one thing until it grows to fruition in our bodies, and then add another, we can build this.
Yeah.
That's part of why this training perhaps seems to go so slowly. I mean, I don't know how your reacting to it. But I give you a lot of information, but as far as physical doing, we're not doing a lot so far.
Right.
Just wait. This is the very easy stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. But like that thought like did, cross through my head, like, oh man, like let's do like some, I want like the juicy bits. And I was like, yeah, but you like shut up. You're not like like yeah, and you're like, you just remembered that like you should move, the cheese should move the body. So maybe like slow your roll. So learn what all the buttons do before you try to fly the plane.
Well, that's a good idea.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's funny like how easy it is to be like, oh, I know that, I have that, I got, like, I don't need to not like pay attention, but like like to fall into like, oh, I know how that works.
Yeah.
Instead of what is it, like coming with an empty cup of like, okay, well, like, do you really as you're doing this, or like that concept of like every day it'll be different.
Yeah.
Even with cross hands, right? Like it's going to be at a different level minute to minute. And like I can hear that and be like, yeah, okay. To like to have those moments of like, oh, like I have forgotten an important thing.
No. Oh, hold on a second.
Sure, no problem.
Still in
Hi,
class.
I'm sorry.
I
just had the most fun time with your kids on FaceTime.
Oh, you did?
Oh, you did?
I was wondering who they were talking to.
Oh, they're incredible, both of them.
Oh, that's great.
You should see Myra. She's got long hair, and she says, "So, Meme," and she's telling me about something wrong.
That's great.
They're adorable. I had
Oh,
such fun.
Oh, thank you.
that's
Yeah.
nice.
Yep.
I'm sorry I missed it.
Yeah.
You can always have them call back.
Andrew and I are having a good time too.
Yeah. But yeah. I just gotta remember that's supposed to be easy and relaxed and open.
Yeah, it it just takes time.
Right.
The thing you don't have.
Yeah. It's I don't know. Like I waste a lot of time. You know what I mean? So
We all do.
yeah. Yeah. So that's something I have been playing with. But yeah.
One of the things I was going to say is I remember Master Joe saying that the quality of your practice is more important than how much time you put into it.
Right.
That 5 minutes of really focused, intentful practice is more profitable to you than an hour and a half of mindless flowing through forms and not thinking about anything.
Right. Like holding like, well, I know how to do this. So I'll just like la do the motions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Between like I have to draw before I go to bed because like it's an easy thing I can do in bed. And some nights I'm like, I drew 2 lines and I go to bed. But seeing like just how much I've done, and I'm going like this, it's like 2 notebooks. But that consistent, just like every day a little bit, and been physically getting to see it, and then like I play like a virtual racing game, right? Like with real people or whatever, and realizing that the best way to win a race is to not try real hard. You just don't mess up. You
Yeah,
just do, like, you know, you have to do a good job, but like, just stop trying so hard, and everyone else is gonna mess up. And if they don't, you'll come in second. Like,
yeah,
and like realizing like that's probably how it works for everything, isn't it?
yeah,
Just you know, do a little bit of consistent, good, focused work, and you know, that's how you progress. Yeah, that's been interesting.
yeah. You know, you said that, and I was thinking about auto racing,
Yeah,
which is very much, I think, that way. I think the person who drives well consistently and doesn't, you know, doesn't take chances and
yeah. Right, because you did the rally racing, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So it's a, you know, like obviously I don't have a real car, but it's the same. You know, I've got pedals and a wheel, and I put on like my VR goggles, so I'm like sitting, and so like I'm doing like road racing,
yeah,
and that's where it occurred to me. I'm like, because I would like try real hard and crash and like crash into people, and I was like, oh wow, I'm not really good at this. And then I like relax. I'm like, you know, but yeah. just
yeah.
just don't make a you know, just stop making mistakes, stop, you know, if I'm not like scrambling the whole time.
Yeah, because when you're scrambling in your practice, you
Yeah.
can feel.
Yeah, right yeah, nap time.
I I love hearing their voices.
Lyra, do you want to come say hi?
Oh, okay, there we go.
I guess we can interact.
That's right.
Follow Lara.
Hi, come on.
No, we don't need that.
We're just talking for now.
Just go follow Lara.
Hello, Rowan.
You gotta go around to see the, yeah, there you go.
Oh, hey, hi. Oh, I got Kaya too.
Yeah.
Hi, Lyra. Wow, your hair has grown. It's so beautiful. I like your hair.
Sorry.
Mm.
You look great, and Rowan is cute too,
Oh my
isn't
God, you're gorgeous.
he?
I love her dress. Oh, hi again.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Wait a minute, I'm going.
You guys have picked the nicest colors for your walls.
Aw, thanks.
I really like what you've done.
What the?
I want to get down.
Sure.
You want to pet Kamari?
Get your
You wanna
get-
come
get-
around here still?
She's sleeping. You'll wake her up, and then she'll be confused.
I want to sit somewhere.
Here, I'll take Rowan.
Kamari's sitting in the chair. We don't want to wake her up.
I want you to get out of it.
Laura,
I'm-
we're not gonna wake up Kamari to move her. That would be like if you were in the middle of sleeping in your bed and we just came in and picked you up and just moved you. You'd be like, what?
Why? Do you want to sit in this chair?
That wouldn't be nice.
No.
You could sit on Deborah's lap.
You want to sit here?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna make sure that the gate is closed. Bye.
I can't wait till we can all get together again.
Yeah.
What are they saying now about the vaccine for under 5?
Because Ernest was up to a ruckus.
Arnissa was causing a ruckus?
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
it was throwing pens
What?
and pictures.
Oh, no.
Anyways,
That's not good. Did you get it to stop?
You trying to pet Kamari?
yeah, like I just threw it
Come on,
back
come on.
into Noah's face.
Good idea. Yeah, perfect.
There we go.
I think they have to go back to trial for the for those.
Mhm.
Yeah, there you go.
She's a real chatterbox when she wants to be, right?
Yeah.
Oh, what a
They're
cute
rolling.
family.
Hi, good morning. Okay.
Oh, he's so cute.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to say bye, Lyra?
Yeah, bye.
You gotta come over here so I
Bye.
can.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, sweetheart.
Nice
We
to
love
see
you.
you.
We love all of you.
Yes.
Okay, have a fun day.
We're gonna go take our nap. Goodbye, love you.
I love
Bye.
you too. Oh,
Oh,
are you done or not?
no,
Oh, sorry.
it's all right.
Okay.
I think we all miss each other.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything about the Yang form?
Anything about the uniform? No, I've just tried to, I guess like once or twice, just go through it, and nothing amazing came up. So yeah, that's it. You know,
Do you want to flow through?
yeah, we can try in this room because that room just got filled up.
Yeah. Yes.
So we will see how this goes. I don't know how much you'll be able to see me. Maybe if I put it in the closet.
That's what I have here. It's in the closet.
Nice. Put it in the closet. Okay. That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll I'll have to reset a lot. It's okay. Okay. Would you like to do it with me? Because I have to reset a lot. That will be interesting.
Okay. Oop. That's not what I want.
Yeah.
So begin Tai Chi addressing the earth. Go spiraling down into the left, step out with the right, coming up into Pung, sink, twist, Jeet, Liu, on. Shifting left, release, turn, embrace the moon. Step forward, shift, twist step into ward off left, reset, rise into ward off right, and roll back. Sink, turn, sink back and down, forward and up to press. Back and down, forward and up to push down. Sitting back, draw in, turn, rotate onto it, step back with the left, extend, twist step, single whip, turn, and lift hand, turning left, drawing in and then separating up, draw back in to center and step, brush knee. Shift forward, reset, Sit back and play peepaw. Rotate back and then step, brush knee. Back. Brush knee, right. And back and turn. Brush knee left. Another play peepaw. Sitting down and then open. Draw in and step. Brush knee. Turn. Pulling in, forming a fist. Shift on to it and kick. Elbow, back fist. Pull down and step. Shift forward and punch. Withdraw and push down. Sit back, turn. Rotate and shift across hands. Release. Turning the arm, turning the leg. Sit back onto the left and step back with the right. Shift. And embrace tiger. Sitting back and down, ward off right, roll back, and then press forward and push downward. Single whip to the front corner. Turn, step and extend. Sit back, turn, shift on to the left, sweep the right leg and arm forward, rotate, draw in, step and punch, and draw back in and repulse monkey. Draw in, empty, step and repulse. Draw into center and repulse. Draw into center and step forward. Shift, diagonal fly. Shift forward. Another lift hand. Turn. Then brush knee. Shift forward, reset, come back through an S curve, up and down through an S curve, needlelet C bottom. Step, shift forward, fan through the back, turn on the right toe, step around, shift to back fist. Pull down with the right, draw in, kick, elbow, back fist, step, shift, and punch. Withdraw, ward off right, roll back, sink, press forward, push down, shift back, turn, another single whip, wave hands, left heel, right heel, turn right, then turn left, and step in, turn, step out, turn, step in, turn, step out, turn, draw in and step forward, step back, and another single whip. Shift on to the left, fold in, reset, shifting back into the right and forward to Hi, Pat. Doesn't matter. I think that's as far as you've gone.
Yeah. A little crowded, but and I didn't get anywhere and go like, what is happening? So,
Oh, good.
so,
That's encouraging.
yeah.
So had you worked on that last posture?
Yeah, I didn't super remember it. We had done that. So if we wanted to like review that and then add a piece if we have time. I don't know what time it is now. 12 minutes.
I don't,
Maybe just review that piece.
where are we? It's 11:48.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's review that. So we're in single whip. This one, we shift forward and the arms fold in. We rotate right and reset that right foot. And the crane's beak begins to let go. And then we're going to rotate right, going back onto that right foot. So we're rotating and shifting back. The right hand is rising and the left, notice, is coming in a curve like this. So it comes in, this goes back to about head level. And then the last part of it is to rotate back to the left to face the side. And that drives the right hand out into a strike at face level. And the left hand pulls in a trap at about waist level. So if we think about the body movement here, ideally the left leg in single whip is pointing to the back corner. And the body is not trying to face all the way in that direction, but it's turned somewhat in that direction. So you shift forward, you rotate right to pull the leg in, and as you pull the leg in, it's not coming forward, it's just coming straight in, but it's rotating in at the same time, so that when you bring it in, it has reset into a narrow angle. It's not clear to the front corner nor to the side. It's sort of halfway in between for a cat stance.
Mhm.
Then you rotate back and you're going down into the right foot. And as you come to 100%, you round that corner and begin to rotate left, going up. And that pulls the right leg, which is empty, into position with just the toe touching.
Right. Okay.
And that is a narrow stance in that the I don't know if you can see my feet.
Yeah. The chair's in the way. If you take 2 steps to your router.
Do I have the wrong camera here?
No, I don't think so. I think just your feet happen to be behind the chair.
What I did was not pin myself. Here we go.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't think you can see. Oh, you can see that chair. Ha. Well, I'll get that out of the way. So that final position, the right foot is on a narrow angle and the left is just straight ahead, but the body's facing straight in the direction of that left toe. which is straight to the side, but I've just turned it this way so you can see it.
Right. I mean, it seems pretty similar to like white crane or lift hands. Is it? Is it?
It's similar.
But not really.
Well, this is now I can't say the name of the posture. Momentary blankness. Well, it is similar to white crane is here.
Mhm.
When we complete that. And the,
Oh, I meant just the feet.
yeah, the feet are
Okay.
the same.
Yeah.
The final foot position is the same.
Yeah. I just meant the feet. Yeah. No, obviously, or clearly the hands are different.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just meant the feet.
and I think the tricky part of this is getting the little bit of sinking and rising that's going on. So this is on the level, on your basic level. As you go back, you're letting yourself sit down into that posture, and then you're going up. So this is not as high as you can possibly go, but this is a raised posture.
In the last, when you're going back, in the last movement where you're rising, your hand should still be coming in, right?
The left
left arm.
The left one's still coming in, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so that you're right. The tricky part there is that when you get to this point and you're going back into that right foot, this is coming in, and then when you turn and go up, it continues to come in.
Right.
So it's a continuous movement. Whereas the right arm, if I turn this a little so you can see, it goes up and then it goes out. And the thing you have to try to do is not make that absolutely straight. So you let this come up, and then there is a little rising movement in that
Okay.
forward.
Yeah. Okay. Cause you're like trying to like push someone over
Either that or
a hand.
nose.
No, that would work too. Okay. No, that's a little mean. Yeah, right, because it's that head level. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could also be a throat strike. I mean, could be different things.
Yeah.
So if you let's go back to we're facing forward, go into single whip.
Okay.
So we step back, shift, twist step, single whip, shift forward, reset the foot, rotate back, sinking down, and then up. And then, yeah, okay.
It was just so I went forward, I reset the foot, and I think I put it too close because I couldn't go back. I was already back.
So that resetting of the foot has to be an empty step.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in terms of the footwork, so yeah, when you go here and then you reset that foot, it's empty when you do that.
Right. I just immediately like fell onto it.
Yeah. Because you need to be able to go back and down into it and then forward and up to complete.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is high pat the horse. This is actually, I really like this posture. Yeah, it comes back and then, yep. Can you do it once?
Yep. Just trying. I'm trying. I feel like my arms are too high. Should my left leg, it should still be out. No, because I had to reset it. So it just
Not your left one. Your left one resets when you rise.
okay. I think I'm stepping too narrow when I reset the right foot.
Yeah, that's why I was emphasizing that it comes in towards the center. It doesn't come forward.
Oh, okay. Yes.
And you've got to rotate that toe left so that it's a narrow angle.
Okay. Not great, but forward, fold, reset, narrow, all the way.
Yeah, that's right. So as you rise, that's what pulls the left leg in.
Yeah, I like wanted to, and my leg was already there, and I was like, well, how do I? Okay.
And you brought the left leg into a good position. You'd like to have the knee over the ankle. You want to make sure you don't pull it too far in because then you lose stability.
Right.
Yeah.
Move the arm.
Yep. Don't rush it. And you don't have to sink a whole lot. You're sinking probably further than you need to.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty good.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Screw that up.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Good classes.
Yeah, that's good. I kept the camera going through this, so you'll actually have all of this on video too.
Yeah. I think when you upload it to YouTube, I mean, like, it probably won't matter. If you could, I don't know if Kaya knew it was recording, and sometimes she has feelings about whether it is or not. So if you could slice off that part where like they all came in. When you upload it to YouTube, they have like a little editor. You should be able to like slice it. If you know what I'm talking about. I
don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, then don't worry about it. It's okay.
What's the problem?
Just like when Kai came in and all the kids and everything. It's really fine. It's really fine. Yeah, don't worry about it.
The only people who are going to see it are you and Susan and Rosemary.
Right.
If 100 people were going to see it, I'd be concerned about it.
No, I know. I don't know why I said anything. It's fine.
All right.
Cool.
Andrew, hang in there.
Yeah. Practicing helps. So
Good. Your family is delightful.
Yeah, they are.
They are. The kids are really doing great.
Yeah, no, they're even Rowan. Rowan's already you know, he'll grab books and he'll like babble at them and like trace with his finger along the word. Like he knows that that's what you do with a book. You talk at it.
I love it. Good.
Yeah, no, it's great.
I'm glad that that you are getting them into books. I hate these kids that grow up and don't know how to read a book.
Yeah, right. You know, that's you know, I don't want to say like I wasn't taught how to read. Obviously I did. But yeah, just that like